Hey, this is Tracy Lewis with Stuff and Things. It is that time of the month for a Winter is Coming Wednesday. Libby and I crafted over the weekend, and she had put up a pin that she thought was really interesting as far as a technique, and we talked about it. It was using DSP, and we thought it would be really fun to change it up and do white with embossing folders as a saying goodbye to all of the retiring embossing folders. So then it turned into, wouldn't this make a great Christmas card? And I knew that I was going to have to do a Winter is Coming Wednesday episode the coming week, and that is how this project was born. So I used 6 retiring embossing folders and one that actually already had been retired that was just in my box. And I don't even have the name for that one. It was from a couple of years back. But the ones that are retiring are Absolutely Argyle, Dainty Diamond, Subtle, which is my favorite, and I'm so sad, Seabed, Scripty, Tin Tile, and those are the 6 embossing folders. And I also threw on silver foil, which is retiring. There's not going to be silver foil next year. That also makes me very sad. And Peaceful Boughs is retiring. And this is such a good Christmas set. So this one I have already determined I have my to-go pile that I will sell, and I have my to keep forever pile. And this is going to move into my keep forever pile. I just love it. So here it is. It is a series of circles cut using the smallest layering, stitched. I think it's called stitched shapes. Yes, stitched shapes. I get them confused with the layering shapes. So the stitched shapes, smallest circle, which is 1 3/8, and I did a couple of each of the embossing folders. There were 7 embossing folders, and I think I did 2 or 3. I might have done 3 per. And then I laid them out. I originally had the backing was bigger, but when I decided on the color for the background, which is Mary Merlot, I decided I wanted a fatter trim, which is interesting for me because I am always I want the thin trim or thin border mat person. And I really liked giving it the white a little breathing room, having the Mary Merlot be a little bit wider. And it is actually just sitting on the base. Sitting on the card front without a base. I am going to, I didn't put it, I have a cut out piece of thick that is the only one I have available down here, but I just wanted to show that it is actually designed to not have a white border. It is actually got the Mary Merlot. And there were 4 layers of circles. So I started at the bottom here. I originally intended to sneak up another set of some circles, but I really liked the smooth finish behind for some reason after I got done. And to center each row, they're centered about where these 2 circles meet. I just did it by eye, so it wasn't complicated at all. I ran the seal for each row, and then so I started at the bottom, and then I moved up, up, and up, and then I trimmed off the top row, which actually was, I think I made this 5 1/4 by 3 3/4, and then trimmed it down to get the kind of breathing room I had in mind for the top. The pine cone is dual layer, so the early espresso is the detail, and then the solid bottom is cinnamon cider, and I think that goes so well. I'm really happy with that cinnamon cider color that they came out with for the in color this year. The Mossy Meadow pine sprigs actually are embossed with subtle, and there was so much embossing going on that I decided I liked the Mary Merlot Smooth, which is unusual for me. I usually always go for having a textured base as a rule, or card front as a rule, and I just really liked how sleek and modern looking this card looks when it's finished. The Peaceful Boughs has 2 labels, dies, and I liked the diamond shape and lining it up along this silver edge. That all the silver edging is for is to cover up, you know, making this top line look more finished. I went ahead and took the baker's twine, that's the Misty Moonlight and white wrapped in silver, pulled out the Misty Moonlight and used it on another project that I already posted a video for earlier, actually at the end of last week, and I finished it off with rhinestones, and I just think this makes a lovely Christmas card. Perfect for Winter is Coming Wednesday. And if you're wondering how long it took me to cut, I had to die cut. I did not have a punch. Libby had a punch. Hers was, I think, 1.5 inches, and this die is 1 3/8. Looks like I used 21 plus this little corner, so 22 circles were used. And I just had them overlapping the piece of paper, flipped it over, and trimmed off the edge. Then I centered and trimmed off. In fact, if you look carefully, it's actually not centered from this side to this side. But visually, the fact that it isn't in perfect alignment doesn't really bother me. And I made sure that my linear, non-random shaped, like this subtle, is not in the same angle as that subtle. And the scripty sentiments, or scripty here, is not at the same angle as that scripty. So the biggest challenge is just to make sure that they're random enough that nothing is accidentally set up to matchy-matchy, so that it has a nice flow to it. So really it was more of a challenge as trying to make it as random as possible, which actually took more work than we both expected. And I really think that this card came out great. So let me know what you think of this particular technique. You know, there's nothing fancy there. You could do some gold, like gilder's paste, or any gold trim or gold accents on the embossing. You could use the gilding flakes, the new ones in the catalog, would be fun to experiment with, adding a little bit here and there on these circles, then do the die cuts and see how well the gold comes out. And I'm thinking of, you know, using the circles idea for more types of fancy holiday cards. And I will have one more circle project, because we did 2. We liked this white one so well that we went back later and did one more, and I will do a video on that later this week. So let me know your thoughts. If you've ever done this before, if you have any other great repeating shapes ideas, feel free to toss them as a suggestion for me down in the comments here on the video or over on my blog. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so you're notified when I drop other videos. Thanks for watching.